As the new year rolls in, we started thinking about how differently we can make this our year. And lately, I have been feeling stagnant, stuck creatively, looking for my little side corner in this world. So, to start off 2026, I will be finding my new creative style this week in New York City. But not without the help from this bad boy. So, let me explain to you. I recently picked up a new lens. I feel like this is becoming a common trend between all of my videos. I feel like every single video I've ever made so far has been a new gear pickup. I gotta stop, but this is the 16-35 G Master 2 by Sony. I've started to put a lot of thought into what exactly I want to start creating with my YouTube channel, and I want to start documenting my process and showing the whole world / you guys if I end up coming out on top in New York City, or just documentation and not always being super intentional or trying to have everything super planned out when it comes to every single video, but rather more fun and more just to have a good story in general. But I do have a very special video that I've always wanted to create, which is like a travel vlog, but more as in like story based. That's something I really want to work towards, and I think this lens is going to carry most of the trip. Given that the story is very fast paced and you don't really know what's going to be coming at you every single second. So I honestly stick to 3 focal lengths when it comes to anything, which is 16, 24, and 35. My 2 favorite focal lengths by all means, and I'm still on the fence on keeping this lens. Trust me guys, this is my most expensive lens if I do end up keeping it. I'm really hoping that by the end of this video I can make a decision on this lens, because this is going to be one of the most expensive decisions other than buying a camera that I've made into investing for myself. So yeah guys, whew. Let's switch to the lens, all right? Let's do it. And we're back. Yo, this is insane, bro. 16, 35, 16, 35, 16. We love seeing it, bro. We love seeing it. But wait. I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but for one of my resolutions for 2026 is to actually start dressing better. Because, I'm from New York. You know what I mean? I was born and raised here, and let me just say, I have not been putting on for the city. Because let's be honest, bro, looking at back at my few videos, I've looked at it and I'm like, bro, what is this guy even wearing, bro? So I'm not saying that it is the best fit of all time, but I'm definitely trying to get out of my comfort zone. And as you guys could tell, it's definitely not something I'm very much used to. All right, so let me introduce you guys to the very first OOTD of the year, the OOTD, as you guys call it. So from bottom to top, it's the Doc Martens that my girl got me for Christmas, which is pretty fire, bro. These are my first ever like Doc Martens, and let me just say, I gotta break them in today because these shits are really hard to walk with. Second is pants, very baggy pants from Abercrombie, followed by a very tight ripped shirt from Cause, which is pretty fire. Honestly, I really like these shirts, and I'm already manifesting summer. So as you guys can tell, I'm only wearing 1 layer in December, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cold, but we're gonna do it for the fit. And followed by this woman's Abercrombie leather jacket, because it's kind of cropped, you know what I mean? And right now, I'm a short fellow, and we need to have as much height in the picture as we possibly can. Oh, sorry guys, this is dog playing fetch here, and I had to go get the ball back. Oh, they're actually coming this way too.
Alright for you, but it don't feel the same, 'cause since you I'm through. We don't let
For the next 2 days, we really put this lens to work. From behind the scenes action, testing out the iPhone 17 Pro, to the versatility which really comes in clutch for any situation, especially for a place like New York where anything can pop up. I've never seen someone pogo stick down Soho, bro. This lens really began to show me a new style of filmmaking, but I think it's time we put it through a real test. The 16-35 might just be the lens, bro, because I've never recorded in the gym. I have this social anxiety of just having to be able to switch lens between sessions or just having to frame it up in general. But having Eric as the cameraman, shout out my brother, with the combo of this deadly 16-35, bro, it was like all shot in one go. But given that I had the focal length from 16 to 35, I feel like my options were like endless when it comes to this lens. All I gotta say is that so far, this just might be the go-to lens, and I'm starting to figure out why a lot of YouTubers recommend this lens as the first lens. I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy that segment. But there's one more thing I want to show you guys. Let's head to my house. Welcome to the lab, guys. Given that we are still in mid-January and we still have February to go through, I really got to think about how exactly am I going to film everything I want to film without having to go outside. And well, this is the answer: building my own setup indoors. So let me give you guys a quick rundown to my setup. I'm being lighted by the main key light, which is the FS300B, with a square rectangular grid to just shine this side of my face. And I'm being shot by the ZV-1, which is obviously my main camera, with the 24mm prime lens at 1.4. That's what's giving that premium bokeh that you guys are seeing at the moment. And if you guys are wondering what is going on with my audio, so this is the Sennheiser MKE600, and I'm actually connecting with the DJI Mic 2. All right, enough yapping. Let's get to the point as to why we actually watched this whole video, which is to justify whether or not I'm going to be keeping the 16-35 in my arsenal. So let's give a quick overview. So far, I was able to film outside and indoors for all occasions. The only thing that I honestly don't like about this lens, I'm honestly just gonna put it out there, which is one, the price. I think that's honestly something that's people really need to consider. And two, the bulkiness. Even though this is technically the smallest 16-35 available at the moment for full frame, this thing is still pretty bulky. And to vlog with this and to like be always shooting with this at the moment, it's like very like, look, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty small hands, and you could just imagine me like gripping like this all the time just to be able to vlog. But at the end of the day, if you really want quality and versatility, there has to be things that you have to sacrifice. And I think for this is the bulkiness and the price. Is this lens better than the primes? Absolutely not. I honestly love my 16 and 24mm prime lenses, and all I gotta say is that those lenses are honestly very much goated. I have a trip coming up, and the video that I have going on for that is realistically very spontaneous and very fast paced, where there's things that are just out of my control, and I want to be available 24/7 to be able to capture all the shots that I'm able to take and not being limited to always having to switch the lens every single 5 seconds. This will be solely a lens where I know I do not have the luxury of picking and choosing the type of shots I want to take, but mainly the reason of just taking the shot. So with all that being said, my final verdict on this lens, if you could actually afford this lens, I honestly recommend it to be your first full frame lens. I know it's a lot, but trust me guys, it's very much well worth it. So with that out the way, I am honestly very excited for the future of this channel, because it will be more documentation, more behind the scenes, and lastly but not least, finally some story driven content. Trust me guys, I love the vlogs. I really like making them, but sometimes I really want to make a good story. The next video that we'll be having up will be my first ever actual story mode video. Get excited, because I very much am. So I just want to say thank you guys to anyone who supports me. If you guys really think this lens was worth it, or if you guys would actually pick up this lens or not, or if there is an alternative lens out there that I'm just not aware of that I could have honestly saved like $1,000 at the minimum, or anything in general, please let me know down in the comments. I wasn't actually inspired to get this lens until I started reading the comments. I appreciate all of you guys who support and watch these videos. Even if you just watch the videos, it's honestly much more than I could ever ask for. Get excited guys, because I am, and I can't wait to catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Much love.